Hello, my lovely friends. My name is Ava, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite tropes, which is the forced proximity trope. I think I have 6 of these rec videos on my channel, maybe 6. I have no idea, but a bunch. I'll link some of them down below if you would like to watch even more and get even more recommendations. But if you don't know about the forced proximity trope, it's basically the trope where the couple, two individuals in said couple or to-be couple are stuck together in a forced proximity aspect. Like they're locked together in a cabin, they're on a road trip together, stuck there, like stuck together. They can't really get out of it. So, and through their forced proximity, it kind of forces them to admit and or realize the feelings that they have for the other person. So let's get into these recommendations. The first one that I have is Little Lies by H. Hunting or Helena Hunting. This is the first book in one of her new adult romances, specifically the first book in her hockey new adult romance series. I've only read this one, so I need to continue on with the other books. This is actually also a second generation series to 2 of her other series. So the Pucked series and I forget the other series. But I've only read Pucked, I haven't read the other series. But basically a kid from the respective different series, they are best friends growing up together, and both of them have really bad anxiety, and they kind of lean on each other to help them live life. And their parents, when they're a young age, realize that these people are too much of a crutch for each other. If we want our kids to succeed, we might have to remove each other from their respective lives because they lean too heavily on each other. The parents thought that's what was best. And so they haven't seen each other in a little bit. But then they go to college together and they actually end up having to live in the same, well, at first it's next door to each other. Their respective houses are next door with their roommates and whatnot. And then I think a fire happens in the hero's house with his buddies, and he comes and lives, or is that her house? Anyway, one of them, their house burns and it's dangerous to live in there, so the other has to live in the other person's house, and that's kind of like the forced proximity aspect. But they haven't really been the same since their parents forced them apart. Other things happened to kind of blow up their relationship in the past. Back then when they were kids, it was obviously just platonic, and now when they're in college, they have this underlying friendship that was with them when they were children, but also there's maybe an inkling of lust. Okay, maybe. But yeah, this one's really fun. Off the Hook by Julie Olivia is actually a Peter Pan retelling. Well, more like, because Peter Pan's not the hero. It's Hook and Wendy characterization. This is a contemporary romance, but I love how Julie Olivia like reworked like Neverland. The small town is inspired by Neverland that the series takes place in, and so our Hook character is our hero, and he's a single dad, and it's his romance with Wendy, who is his little brother's ex-girlfriend. So her ex-boyfriend is Peter Pan, and she becomes the nanny to his son. The hero is like battling with these lustful thoughts that he's having towards his little brother's ex-girlfriend, and she is as well. And so the forced proximity aspect is obviously them being in the same house together and her taking care of his son. This one was good. I loved, like I said before, the reimagining of the whole Peter Pan aspect was really unique and really cool for me. A classic is Him by Serena Bowen and Al Kennedy. This is an hockey romance. These 2 guys were actually at hockey camp together, and they've been best friends every single time they go to camp together. They're like best friends, they are roommates, they're hang out all the time. But this past hockey camp, when they were like younger, it's been maybe 5 years since then, maybe a little more, one of the guys like up and completely ditched the other, cut the guy out of his life. They have not heard from each other in years, and it's because one of them may or may not have started to develop feelings for his friend, and he knows that his friend is straight, and he doesn't want to make his friend uncomfortable and doesn't want to be pining after somebody. But they come back into contact when they are at a professional hockey game, and they're actually on like professional hockey teams, and they are going against each other, and that kind of opens up an old can of worms and how much they miss their friendship. They both start coaching at the camp where they met at, and they have to share cabin space, and things happen. Feelings are revealed, and I adored this duet. Absolutely adored it. I put it off for so long, but I finally read it earlier this year, and I am so glad that I did, because it is worth the hype. Next, I have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This one is kind of a spinoff to her book Out on a Limb, but you can read this one as a standalone. You just meet these two characters in Out on a Limb, and they are the married couple that is the heroine's best friends in book number 1. But basically in this one, it's about the two of them, these two characters falling back in love with each other, like deeply, like learning about each other again. It's not like a marriage in trouble romance because they're married, but there's no ever fear that they're not going to that they're going to get divorced or something like that, because they know that they're each other's person, but they don't know how to communicate directly anymore and show each other the love that the other person deserves, because they got married really young, and you grow and change. It's been many years since they first got together, and they got married, I think, right out of high school, so they were really young. And you grow throughout the years, you change in what you need and what you want out of life and a partner. And anyway, they go on this like couples retreat together to kind of get some therapy out in the woods. So yeah, I love Hannah, I love her writing. The worst proximity aspect is obviously them hiking and camping together. So I have 2 books by Kayla Gross. Kayla writes this trope fantastically well. So first is Whirlwind. These two characters are storm chasers. The hero is actually the heroine's professor, and she is chosen after the semester is over to accompany him on a storm chase, and they get stuck in his storm chaser car thing together, and the hero is trying to like fight his very lustful feelings towards his ex-student. She just wants him to kiss the shit out of her. Like, she wants him so badly. He is so hot to her. And yeah, there's a big age difference. I want to say like 15 years, maybe even more. But I loved the storm chasing aspect here. It was so fun. She also wrote Axes and O's, and this one is perfect for the upcoming like winter season. I know we're not there yet. It's still blistering hot outside, okay? But you could put this on your future TBR. This is an MMF romance. The woman in this situation, in this pairing, is actually married to one of these guys. They're both tattooed and blonde, and like, they look great together. I've seen art done of them. Looks fantastic. Anyway, they were married really young. They'd love to add somebody into their relationship that they both feel a connection to. Anyway, they both love in their free time maybe doing some primal stuff out in the woods where he like chases her down. And while they're playing, this other man is driving through the mountains to go visit his sister for Christmas, and I think his car ends up breaking down, and he tries walking there and he passes out or something like that. He's like unconscious in the snow, and these two people rescue him and take him back to their cabin. Obviously, just try and get him better. They can't like bring him to his sister's because it's dangerous. There is a snowstorm now. They're stuck in the cabin together. They kind of have some fun times together during that time period, and the 3 of them together, and maybe develops into something more. So that one is deliciously hot. So fun. One for Halloween season is October, is Spookly Yours by Jennifer Chipman. This is a witch romance, takes place in a small town full of witches, and the heroine really wants to get a familiar and gets a cat, but then she finds out that this cat is actually a cursed demon, and that's her hero. He was cursed to be a cat, and it's forced proximity because the cat has to stay with her, and the witch is gonna help him out, so he has to stay close to her, whatnot. But yeah, when she helps him go back into his demon/human form, things start happening. Nothing happens obviously with him as a cat, but it is hilarious that he's a cat at the beginning of this book. Next, I have Halfling by S.E. Wendell. This is a romantasy. Our heroine is a human woman, and she's been kidnapped by orcs. They're gonna do horrible things to her. The hero finds out about this. He's half orc and is a part of this village. His mother was human, and decides that he is going to rescue this human because no one ever did that for his mother. So he ends up rescuing her, releasing her, and helping her travel back to her family. And it's a kind of road trip romance. They're stuck together traveling, and it's so good. I know it's really big, but it is so worth it. I loved both of these characters. Like, every single page was worth it. This was so good. I loved both these characters. I can't get enough of them. Next, I have Serpents of Sky and Flame by Rebecca F. Kenny. This is a romantasy book. The hero is a dragon, like full-on dragon. There's no shifting involved, just a dragon in this fantasy realm, and dragons are at war with humans, and the human queen decided to hire a mage that would, with a snap of his fingers, kill all the female dragons. And that's what they did. And it's upcoming heat season, so like heat is about to happen, and these male dragons are like devastated. All their women are dead, devastated, and they're like, more of us are going to die because we have no one to help us through our running season. So they decide to scoop up human women from the street during this battle, and the hero ends up scooping up the crown princess and bringing her back to his nest, and he gets a mage himself to have her shift all of these humans into dragons, turn them all into dragons for all of the season coming up, right? But this witch is also a human and she would not like to be a dragon. So she kind of does a 180 and actually transforms the dragons into dragon shifter men. So they shift into men and they're like, what the hell? So it's really good. It's hot. It's fun. If you love monster romances with dragons in them, I really recommend this one. There's forced proximity because he literally like puts her in his nest at the top of a mountain or a very tall tree, I can't remember, and like she's stuck there with him, can't get out unless she dies and falls. So, and my last one on this list is When She's Common by Ruby Dixon, one of her thicker books in her WorldInWord alien romance series. The heroine in this one, she is a human refugee. She's been kidnapped from Earth and finds solace and rescue on this planet called Rizda 3. That's the whole series. And she's feeling really lonely and someone recommends, like another human woman is like, hey, why don't you go get a pet or something like to help you out? And she's like, oh, that's a great idea. She chats with a alien man on the planet and is like, hey, can you hook me up with a cat? Like, I really want a cat. So the cat gets shipped to her house and it's in a ginormous box. And she's like, what is this? She puts her hand in and the cat speaks. It is a Praxian alien man. And if you've read other Ruby Dixon books, they're kind of humanoid men that can look like cats somewhat. And this alien who got the cat for her like completely messes up. This is a like prince in hiding who ended up being wound up on our heroine's doorstep. He expects her to like be his servant and do all this stuff for her. She's like, hell no. Anyway, he gets a big kick in the face when he realizes like he's been privileged his entire life and the heroine is teaching him how to unwind that part of himself because it's obviously not attractive, but it's absolutely hilarious. This book is hilarious. It's forced proximity because the hero convinces the heroine like to have him stay with her, so there are bad people out there trying to assassinate him and his whole line of people because he's royalty, and so she reluctantly agrees to let him like stay in her barn and then eventually in her home. I loved this one. It was so fun. Anyway, so you have it. Those are some forced proximity romance recommendations. Let me know down below if you've read any of these or if you plan to, and if you don't feel like commenting anything else, you can leave me a dragon emoji in the comment section down below. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. I will see y'all soon in my next one. Bye y'all.
Oh, and I keep finding dog ears that you left in my books. Miss your hate, can I just crash over? Guess you crashed in like a tsunami. Woke up next to you so hungover, sunlight painted stripes of your